Hi, everyone.
Hello. Let's see. Casey and Paige, we are still waiting on. Do we want to give them a minute or go ahead and start? I think we still have a quorum without them.
My guess is Paige will pop in, but since she's got a headache migraine right now, she may be resting and not aware of the time this moment.
Yes.
Wait, she just texted. She's coming. Okay, we'll give her a minute.
I hope everyone voted today. I put my sticker right here on my computer, now it's stuck and it's ripped. But I voted today. I even had my 18-year-old vote in his first election.
That is very awesome. I voted a week and a half ago.
Good job.
I gave them back my sticker with my with my secrecy shield or whatever they call that thing.
It's hard to keep track of all those little steps.
I just didn't have any. Where am I going to put it? It's going to end up ripped like yours. So I was like, you can have it back.
Yeah. I usually put it on my phone and leave it on my phone until it wears off, but I didn't do that this time.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call to order at 5:50. Does anyone have anything they want to revise or prioritize on the agenda? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as written?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Did someone second?
Second.
I'll
This is
second.
Casey.
Okay.
Casey second.
Oh, I didn't need to do that, did I? Dang it. It's too late now. Roll call vote to approve the agenda. Mindy?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
And Missy?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Cheryl?
I saw your microphone come off, but I didn't hear anything, Cheryl.
Yeah. If you are talking, we still, okay.
I heard, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Now we can hear you. And I am a yes. And okay. All right, so the agenda is approved as written. And next is approve the March 16th regular meeting minutes, which Jennifer sent out. Was it yesterday?
No, it was today at lunchtime.
Oh, well, all my days blur together.
I know. I did need to ask clarification because on the agenda I have the grant has ESSR 2 grant, but on Deanne, on your principal report that you sent out, I saw it as ESSER and ESSR. So I don't know what the official title of that grant is.
I think it's ESSR.
So not ESSER or IR,
Oh,
like I put it.
oh, did I put it IR?
So you put it ER and ESSR, but I put ESSIR. So,
It should be just ESSR
okay.
too.
And then I think on that same topic, in where you had put IR, you said it had to be used by fall 2021, but it's fall
Oh.
2023, right?
Yeah.
The CARES Act grant we want to use by this fall, and then
Okay.
the ESSER funds is 2023, the fall of 2023.
Did anyone else see anything in the minutes? If there is nothing else, when someone is ready, feel free to make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes with the amendments, the changes.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay. Roll call vote. Mindy, approve or oppose?
Approve.
Jennifer?
Approve.
Missy?
Approve.
Casey?
Approve.
Cheryl?
Approve.
And I also approve. Just checking. Oh, okay.
And Paige is here now.
Just saw that. Okay. So for Paige, we approved the agenda as written, and we just approved the March meeting minutes, changing ESSIR grant to ESSR, and that it has to be used by fall 2023, not fall 2021.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. So minutes approved with the changes. On to public input. Did anyone have anyone reach out for public input? No. Okay. I did not either. Do you guys hear that snoring? It is my dog. It's so loud.
Nope. Camera doesn't pick it up, I guess.
Well, that's good because it's loud.
I can hear it. I didn't know what it was. but-
Oh.
Okay. PTO update. I guess that is me. We met on March 17th and we have a Northern Lights coupon book fundraiser going on. As of the meeting date, we'd only sold one book. I mean, not one book. Wow. We sold 9 books. So I had to sell one more to hit the minimum of selling 10. We got, I think, just over $100. I might be wrong on box tops and Coke reward money. I did a read just ended, and we have a drawing. We need to do a drawing for the Fly Trampoline gift card, and then a parent donated 10 Barnes and Noble gift cards as well, so we'll do a drawing for those. And then I moved the dogs yesterday morning for the last move, so the kids can all see where they ended in their places. Let's see. We moved most of the PTO stuff that was in storage to the Connex, which is in Mountain View. That was an interesting experience. Yeah. Long term, not the best solution, but it'll work for now. And then we found out that our square one from last year can be sent home this year. And I don't think we'll get as big of a percentage back if people order, but we will get 15% of sales. So Amy has those right now to sort out and get sent home. And then I think I want to tag onto that, but I need to ask the PTO to do a current one for this year, but just a parent one so that Robin doesn't have to really short turn around. So parents can just like scan in an artwork thing, but we'll get a percentage of the sales and then it'll ship to home instead of the school. And then they were looking at doing a Panda Express fundraiser night again, but no date yet. And then I think that, and then we wanted to do something for the first full day back with all the students. So got Lucy May's cinnamon rolls and a fruit platter for the staff. And I think that's it. Did I miss anything, Mindy? No? Okay. All right, next is principal report.
If you're talking, Deanne, you're on mute.
So I have the intent to enroll update. And so Diana spent yesterday calling some families to see if anyone who hadn't responded to that online survey would just let her know verbally whether or not they were coming back. So to update, we still have we have 24 students in kindergarten that said they would be returning for first grade.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and one we haven't heard back from. Second grade has, and these are the first graders this year who are coming back for second grade. 23 said that they were returning. One family we have not heard back from. Third grade's the winner. They have, so Missy, 25 of your second graders said that they would be returning. 23 third graders said that they'd be returning for fourth grade, and we haven't heard from two families on that. 21 fourth graders said that they'd be returning for fifth grade, and we still haven't heard from three families. And then the big news of the day, 22 of our fifth graders said that they would be returning, and we have not heard back from two families. So when you add that to all of the students on the wait list, it looks like we could possibly be at full capacity in the fall.
Awesome.
That's your fullest class yet.
I'm not holding my breath. In the spring, I've always been told, oh, you have 26 kids, you have a full class. And somehow I always get 22 by the fall. So I will be happy with whatever I get come August.
Well, it could be 26, so that's what I would plan for.
Then that will be wonderful.
Any other questions on anything that I have anything else that I have on my report?
I didn't know what some of the acronyms under staffing were. The SOH and NOR.
SOH is a summary of hire. And a NOR is a notice of retirement, or it could also be a notice of resignation. Either way, they have notified us that they will not be returning in the fall.
So, does that mean that Janet turned in her notice of resignation, retirement, and then Emily D'Amico was then hired to replace her? Is that
Correct.
what that means? Okay.
Yep. Special ed staffing was held last week, Tuesday. And elementary staffing will be held next week, Tuesday. So we are hoping, in the process of interviewing candidates for our technology position, that we may be able to pick up a teacher before school is out. And then also our art teacher submitted her summary or notice of retirement, and her 502, which is my application to the district to let them know that we have a job opening that we want to advertise, was approved today. So that should be available for candidates to see starting tomorrow.
And then would this be the time that we would talk about the summer school proposal? Because it's not a separate agenda item. Or
I
unless
have
we're
that-
going to go under the grant.
It's under the grant.
Okay, so I'll wait till then.
Did anyone have any other questions on principal's report that's not already an agenda item? I'm surprised at how low our kindergarten wait list is for the lottery.
We had quite a bit of, we actually had about 30 people on the wait list, but there's been a lot of movement.
I know that. I know 2 people on it, and one just got in today. So I'm surprised at how many people we went through.
Yeah, a lot of families have been kind of wavering. I talked to several of them who had tried to lottery in siblings. And so because we couldn't guarantee their siblings slots in upper grade levels, they decided not to accept their seats instead of waiting for openings for those siblings.
Gotcha.
Since we removed the additional storage, but we have the Connex container on here. So are we thinking that we're wanting to put the Connex container at the school, that one of the 20-foot ones? Or is that something that is kind of being worked around with the lease? Trying to figure out what the decision will be.
He currently doesn't have a 20-foot Connex available. He has one 20-foot Connex, and he's actually using it for something at this point. So he has several 40-foot ones that were available. It is something that we can ask him for, but I don't know how, again, how willing he will be to move all his, I'm not sure what's in his 20-foot or how hard it would be for him to move it. But a 40-foot Connex would be pretty challenging to house in our current location.
Mm-hmm. So he's given us the permission to put it there. We just don't necessarily have a 20-foot Connex to put there right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else for Deanne? All right, on to Special Standards Committee update is tabled. Hiring committee update. You just kind of went over that with the staffing. So you're interviewing?
We have an interview tomorrow for another interview with a candidate for a technology position.
And then are we
sorry.
still wanting another interventionist TA? Because I see that we have one listed that is starting or did start.
Did start.
But are we still looking for one more position for that?
I've taken the listing off our newsletter. We've had it listed for quite some time, and we haven't really had a whole lot of people interested. We do have. I was notified today that our third grade teacher does intend to return from his leave of absence, and so our long-term sub may be interested in moving into that interventionist TA position for the last few weeks of school.
And do we know when he's coming back?
His date of return is scheduled. His last day for his leave is April 30th, and so his first day of return to class would be May 3rd. It's the 30th, I believe, is a Friday.
Okay.
Right. 7th and 8th grade expansion committee.
Can I hold on, ask one more thing?
Oh, sorry.
So then we have the art position posted as open, and that's not through staffing, right? That one's just open to the whole district? Is that?
Well, if we do have candidates apply and we have a chance to do any interviews, we could pick that person up in staffing.
And I think at a previous meeting, you had said that Robin had kind of had a couple of people that she was sort of recommending that might be good. Is that still, like, she's kind of trying to lead some people to us?
I don't know at this point what she's able to do. I think that one of the candidates or someone that she knew might be interested is looking for a full-time position because of benefits. So she had some people that she had recommended consider our program, but I don't know what positions they're in with the district right now and whether or not they'd be interested in a 0.3.
Anything else for hiring committee update? All right, 7th and 8th grade expansion committee update. We did not meet last week, but we met the week before and had a list or narrowed down a list of the electives that we are suggesting are offered, and I did not write them down, so I don't remember the names of them all.
One was robotics, one was home ec, one was, I think, business or something that was for 8th grade, and then its equivalent for 7th grade.
Yes.
And the other two can't think of at the moment.
All I could get was this one bite. For
Family and consumer science.
Yeah, that was home ec.
Yes.
Oh. Project Lead the Way.
That was the robotics.
Robotics.
And I think we first aid and like beginning guitar were thrown out there.
That was it. Guitar, keyboard. That was it. It wasn't first aid. That wasn't, I mean, that was one that Mindy brought up, but there was another one that more people picked, but I just can't remember what it was.
And then we're still slated for the April 20th school board meeting, or have you heard anything more on that, Dean?
Latest on that is that they have requested the district's legal team look at our application or request. And so the district has asked them to review that against our current contract that we have with the district and see if there's any language they want to adjust or if that is going to require a new contract. And so everything is being held up by legal right now. So until that is held up by legal, Dr. Bishop, or until that comes back from legal, Dr. Bishop has not forwarded it to the board for their agenda.
Okay, so not officially at a meeting.
Not yet. So Daryl's checking up on that. I got that information this afternoon.
So I guess I expected a revision to the contract. So I'm surprised that they're holding it up pending that. Okay. Okay. What else? Did we work on anything? Deanne and I are meeting either tomorrow or Thursday to work on lease numbers for building out for that space. And then has the science curriculum come in yet or no?
Not yet.
Okay. But it has shipped, so that we were interested in looking at. Is that it? Am I forgetting anything?
I'm working on a date for someone from Chugach School District to come and meet with the expansion committee to look at standards for middle school. They do a K-12 standards-based program in that district, and so they have report cards and all of those things kind of built out. And so I thought it would be interesting for the committee to talk about how they do standards based in the middle school and see what kind of grade reporting they do and if they use numbers or letter grades and things like that, and how they work, maybe how they work with parents to understand what a 4, 3, 2, 1 looks like instead of an A, B, C, D, and F thing.
And did you say that was Chugach School District?
Chugach School District, yes.
Does anyone have any questions?
Do you have regularly scheduled meetings on Thursdays? Is that what you guys mean?
Yeah. We just didn't last week because we were waiting. We're still we were waiting for that kind of news from the district, if we made it on a meeting or not made it on a meeting, and if they had any feedback for us or not. And waiting on information about the words are escaping me today for the electives, what their
academic plans.
Their academic plans and the curriculum they use to teach those. So we were waiting for all of that, so we didn't really have anything to look at. I guess another question for So she sent the contract to legal, but they still don't have any questions on what we submitted, the memo that we okay.
I have not received any communications or questions from anybody in the superintendent's cabinet yet.
Okie dokie. Okay, any other questions? No? All right, on to election committee update. I kind of forgot about that. That's me, Paige, and Missy. So we should probably plan a time to meet, or even if it's just, well, I guess it would have to be. Would we have to meet? Probably. Would it have to be at one of these meetings? A Zoom meeting? Anyway, just to line out the dates of when we want to open applications, close them, and then hold the election by. I think as long as we get it done by mid-May, should be fine.
Just send us an email, Vanessa, and we can set that up.
Okay.
Set a meeting time.
All right. On to old business lease renewal. Oh, I have so many documents. Okay, I did the numbers. There we go. So our lease is written for a 1% increase on the rent. So the numbers for July 2021 and June 2022 for rent would be $24,903.13 because it doesn't include the janitorial. And then the other 10 months, this is just for a 1-year extension, would be $28,876.14. Are we going over that though, Deanne, when you and I meet for the section of any modifications and if we want a Connex added in there?
I think we should.
Okay. Because I still had that part. I don't know if we wanted to ask for anything in just like the 1-year period or not for any.
I think there are things that we should ask for.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask for clarification on what you just said? So that you said that 24,903.13.
Yeah.
That was for July of 2021 to June of 2022.
Yeah, just for those 2 months specifically.
Right. So I had that as a whole year, July of 2021 to June of 2022. So what months is that?
Just July and just June.
So
because the lease runs July to June. So it's the first month and the last month because there's no janitorial.
Months we're not in school.
Yeah.
So then August through May would be the 28,876.14. Okay, right. That makes more sense. I didn't understand why there was another number in the middle of the year.
Yes, that's why. Okay, we went over the notice of intent to return earlier. Did anyone have any other questions on that? No? Okay. 2021-2022 staffing. We kind of went over that with the principal's report too. Did anyone have any other questions on that? No? Anyone? Okay. And then review annual subscription renewals. This is the one where we talked about for the Discovery education streaming and weren't sure if there were anything else or the cost of that. Were you able to find out anything, Deanne?
We have not been able to figure out where in IFES we can find that we paid for Discovery streaming this year. And that's just between Diana and I. And she just started last week, Tuesday, and just got IFAS access, I believe, yesterday. So we've been trying to look through old purchase orders and requisitions to see if we can find anything for this school year.
Judy and I were talking about it, and I know that just today, and she said that she doesn't have access at all. Her credentials don't work. So I'm thinking that maybe we didn't since we were online the beginning of the year.
It's possible. And it's possible that the reason Judy doesn't have access is that we didn't actually renew the subscription for this year.
But she definitely requests that we do renew that again for next year. And I use it also, so I would like it.
I can look into that. Do you want a quote or want me to get a quote, or is that something we can just go ahead and purchase?
I'm not sure the history of why it was never just included in the budget, but it's always been outside of. I know it's usually like $1,200 for an annual subscription, so I don't know if the dollar amount is why. I'm not sure.
Well, we can always just put it into the budget under, I believe it's going to be contracted services, instructional contracted services, and there's a line item in the budget for that.
So would we still have to approve it since next year's budget has already been passed?
I can check to see if we already have some funds in that line item. If that's the case, you've already approved things to be used in that category.
And you said that was contracted services?
Yes, so it would be professional and technical contracted services instructional, and it would be the GL code or object code 3030. So maybe I can even pull it up. Budget. It looks like we do not have 3030 is where we normally do a Spalding. We put Spalding training in, and so we didn't put anything in the budget for this year and next year. So that would be an amendment to our budget. But we can also, if you'd like to talk about that, I did put money in there for actually Spalding training and contracted services for web-based intervention programs for in our ESSER 2 grant. So we could pay for it. I think we can pay for those services through the SR2 grant and not have it come out of our general funds.
Do you,
That moves us into our next budget or our next agenda item.
well, I was going to say, do you want it to go under that, or do you want us to do anything with it under this agenda item?
Well, if you would like to approve purchasing that, then I can purchase it through the ESSER grant and not through our general funds.
Okay.
And Vanessa, you're pretty sure it's around $1,200.
Yeah.
So
Unless they, I would see them maybe increasing the price, but not decreasing the price.
so should we make a motion to cover the subscription? Would we need to quote how much it would need to be, or just go ahead and say we're doing the subscription?
I recommend you just do the subscription. If it comes out to be some outrageous price, I'll bring that back to the
If they
board.
jumped to $10,000.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I make a motion that we use the ESSER 2 grant funds to renew our K-8 Discovery streaming subscription.
I'll second.
Okay. So the motion on the table is to use the ESSER 2 grant funds to renew the Discovery Education streaming. Roll call vote. Let's see, Jennifer, approve or oppose?
Approve.
Missy,
Approve.
Mindy,
Approve.
Paige,
Approve.
Cheryl,
Approve.
Casey,
Approve.
and I also approve. All right. So the motion is approved. Next is the ESSER 2 grant, and Deanne sent out a budget for that one. She sent out the principal's report.
Yes, and so I have to submit a preliminary budget, which is just kind of a proposal. What they're going to do is combine all of the charter school budgets in the district's budget and submit one budget to the state. And so they just are asking for round part figures on what we hope to use the funds for. So nothing is set in stone. If we wanted to use all the funds in certificated and non-certificated salaries, we could do that. If we decided not to use it that way, we could use it for student or staff travel, all of those kinds of things. So they just wanted to get an idea of what schools were going to be doing as far as utilizing the funds. And keep in mind that we have to justify what we're using the funds for, which was intended to help schools open and mitigate any of the impacts that COVID had on K-12 public schools. So if you look, I believe in the DOE code, that very first column 10 or 410, that's where you can see the line item 3030 for contracted services. I had projected using about $7,000 for online subscriptions, whether it's IXL or some sort of math program that we can buy a school-wide license for, so that our students could maybe use that during the summer, or some sort of intervention type things that teachers wanted to use. So that's where I would charge the Discovery Plus streaming to. And then if you look at the very top under certificated salaries and non-certificated salaries, I put the majority of the funds in that category. My intent was to fund summer school for the next 3 years. We have a larger than normal number of students who fall below the 50th percentile in language arts and math. And so the summer school is kind of a targeted small group environment where we can help some of those kiddos reclaim some of the skills that they may have lost while working online, or just for our struggling students. So that's where the summer school proposal is for this school year. I had to run some numbers to see what it would be. And in the grant, they wanted us to break out what the benefits would be for the personnel for summer. So, any questions about the grant proposal in particular, and why I have some of those numbers there?
Okay, where are the numbers for the grant proposal? I see the summer school proposal.
What's the sheet?
What email was that sent with?
So she sent 2 emails. One, she was correcting the summer school attachment that she had sent the first time, and the other one had a lot more attachments, like 6 or 7. And it had one called ESSR2 grant proposed budget.
So I didn't see that it had a little double arrow down and it says show all 7 attachments. I only saw the first 2, so I was completely lost with all of those other things.
Do you see them now?
I do. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm opening it right now.
Okay.
I just was looking on all of the other stuff I'd already downloaded and had no clue what you were talking about.
Okay. And also included in there is the funds for the Chromebooks and the MacBook Airs that are on the next new business agenda items. So what we're looking at is just the direct cost. The district has already taken into account the indirect cost.
What is the textbooks line item?
That's just if we want to purchase any paper type curriculum. So like the board purchased earlier in the fall, at the request of our first grade class, those those first grade readers. Yep.
I didn't know if you had something in mind, or we're just placing some money there.
I'm just placing money there. Yeah.
And Deanne, did you say under the, let me find it now. Would our Spalding accreditation fall under this also?
Yes, and so that would be way toward the bottom, right under the total direct cost in the box that's 500. 3613 would be other membership fees. So registration and membership fees. So registration for the Spalding classes for the staff in the summer, and then whatever fees we're going to pay for Spalding toward the accreditation.
Okay.
Because it is professional development for teachers. Yeah.
So then for summer school, you're proposing a K2 teacher, a 3-6 teacher, a special ed teacher, but on this list, you have TA summer school. So is that also a TA?
We have one of our summer school teachers is going to be at Disney World for a few days. And so she has arranged for her TA to cover her during those days. So that I had to build that into the budget. And so it looks like it's quite a bit of amount of money, but it isn't really.
And then I'm assuming that our new special ed teacher is on board with doing this, or would this still be Janet Coffin?
This is our our new special ed teacher doesn't start till August 12th, and our current special ed teacher's contract ends June 30th.
Is everyone on board with it? Or not really sure yet?
Well, so I asked teachers if they were interested in teaching summer school, and I had these 3 teachers approach me. And so we talked about dates and what it would look like and what their availability was. And it just so happens that the June 1st to June 30th is the first summer session for the rest of the district. So it kind of aligns with summer school that the district is proposing for elementary school students. We are only slated to do a half-day program. The district is doing 2 half-day programs. So their teachers are working full days. Ours will not. We'll just be working the half days because they're going to try to double the amount of students that they can support through summer school. And so the teacher positions and also the nurse position, I've already talked with our school nurse to see if she would be available, because it is one of the things that the district is requiring as far as staffing for summer schools, to have a nurse on site due to COVID reasons.
And so so all of the staff cost is on this, even if we can't see where it says this is the nurse pay, this is the principal pay, this is the teacher. It's just in the certificated and non-certificated salaries.
Correct. Yep. The only thing that's not in here for summer school would be the 1330 in the 310 category for after school tutoring. I put some money in there in case we wanted to do a tutoring program during the school year after school for students. And then also to pay for 2 TA interventionists for the next 3 years on site. So that's in the non-certificated section under extra help.
And is that just one of the TA interventionist TA position, or is that 2?
It's 2.
So do you need to, sorry, Cohen just came in here and he goes, can I watch your meeting on Zoom? I mean, on YouTube.
Sure.
Oh, wait, Cohen. Oh gosh, kids. Do you need us to approve this budget or no?
Well, I mean, it is budget that we're getting. It is not our general funds, but I just wanted to share with you to let you know some of the things that I have planned. And if you have any objections or concerns about any of these, we can always discuss if we want to use the funds in another way.
I just have a general district question. So does each school host its own summer school? It's not, say, consolidated at, Alpenglow or whatever, but every school, or is this a charter school scenario?
So not every school is hosting a summer school. The district has, obligations to having an administrator on site and a school nurse. So what they're doing, I believe, is they have about 6 or 7 schools out of all of their elementary schools that are going to be summer school locations. And they're going to be using,
okay.
I don't know what
Okay.
kind of, I'm guessing they're using the district's language arts and math curriculum for that. Middle school and high school is a little bit different because they have specific credit type classes that they're going to be offering that kids need to do. But charter schools were asked if we were going to be doing our own summer school. Otherwise, we were going to be charged per student that attends the district summer school program. And for us, it makes more sense for our teachers to be able to work with kids with our curriculum instead of having kids go take a summer school at a district program that may or may not even address any of their concerns or needs. And, if they're in a 3rd grade class, I don't know that it's going to help them get the district's 3rd grade curriculum because our 3rd grade math class is working at level 4 already. So I really feel like we should offer our own program. And one of the things we'll be working with is having our teachers tailor a program for each individual student from their class.
No, I just think it's a great opportunity for these students to be able to continue with the same. That's why I was asking. And also too, how will will parents be able to opt in, or is there going to be some sort of a cutoff? Or I could just see some parents really being on board with the opportunity to remain at EACS in the summer.
Yeah. So the qualifications in that email document, I'd really like to stick with students who are scoring 50% or below as far as the percentile on their either iReady or MAP or FastBridge assessments. The linking study between MAP and the PEAKS assessment shows that a student who's in the 60 to 70th percentile on MAP is projected to score proficient on the PEAKS assessment. And so the goal for us is to try to get kids up to that standard where they would be proficient in their language arts and math assessments. So that's why my recommendation is that we'd do a qualification sort of invitation only program for students who are scoring below the 50th percentile in either math or language arts. If we invite students and they're not interested and we have the room, we could start moving up the percentile ranking, because it's not something that we're going to require of students, but I really feel like a lot of our families are going to look for opportunities for their students to make up some of that gap that we're starting to see with some of our new kiddos or our returning students because of how long we've been online.
So can I ask about on the principal's report, it looks like it was about 2,100 proposed for the Chrome cart and then the MacBook Airs. But then you have 30,000 for the supplies, material, and the 5420 under 450 counter, or however you say that. So did you have other things that you were planning, or is that like shipping and handling? That's the extra like 9,000?
So I sent you on there. It's about $240 per Chromebook, and we're trying to get an entire cart of 35 Chromebooks and the cart, and then also the math books. So there's some extra funds in there because we are experiencing some issues with our Apple TVs. They're third generation Apple TVs purchased in 2017. So we're starting to see that some of our teacher laptops aren't able to connect to those and keep a connection. So I'm looking at the possibility of, since it's already 4 years, the cycle is to replace devices about every 3 to 4 years. And so after next year, it'll be, a 5-year-old device. And I think there's Apple is coming out with the 5th edition of the Apple TV, and we're running 3rd edition. So we're sort of due for an upgrade.
So that's what the extra in there is for. And
There's a little bit of extra in there, yep. Or we could always use it on a second Chrome cart. But that's a good question. So is the board comfortable with us moving ahead with planning a summer school?
I am.
I think anything we can do to help mitigate that sooner rather than later for those students will help them be more successful next year.
I agree, and I like the proposal for 3 years because I think the repercussions of this is going to continue on.
So do we need a motion to adopt this proposal?
Yeah, I just have one more question about, so the teacher's assistants for the summer school, are we just going to ask one, or are we going to see if we can get, because it, sounds like it might have a lot of children. So to have some support for those teachers might be really good.
Yeah, I was looking through some preliminary numbers just for our 3rd through 5th grade class. And it looks like we'd be looking at about 15 to 20 students. And that's a lot of students for a teacher to work with, especially on individual skills, like the plans that we're hoping to be able to send them to summer school with. And so I think there's a possibility that I'd like to be able to ask at least 3 of our TAs to come in and help work with those kids, if they're available. I don't know what everyone's summer plans are. And I think that we were fortunate enough to have these 3 teachers step up and say, I'll do it, considering the year that it's been for everybody, or the year and a half it's been for everyone. And just sort of for future reference, we are expecting a 2nd round of ESSER grants, or a 3rd round actually. And the word on the street is it's a considerable increase from what we currently are receiving. But there are, I think, a little bit more stricter stipulations on what we can use those funds for.
Do we have any like time frame? Like, would that be something like a year from now or like a month from now?
I think that we'll probably know what the numbers look like by the fall. OMB is still kind of working with, and I don't know when the state's going to release that. But it'll be super nice. I mean, I know that interestingly enough, I have a friend that's a principal and superintendent in one of the districts that I work for, and it's a single school district, so they're K-12 building. They got $1.5 million for roughly 400 something students. And it's a pretty decent chunk of change.
And is that coming from the state?
Yeah, it's coming from, it's federal funds given to the states departments of education. And so the states are actually determining how they want to use that funds for education.
So we still have $12,000 left of the CARES grant that have to be used by the fall. Do we have specific plans to use that?
What we could do is we could push up either the teacher Chromebooks or the teacher or TA MacBook Airs or the Chromebook cart onto the CARES Act to kind of finish that out so that we're done with that, and then reserve whatever's left on the ESSER2 grant, since the sunset for that is 2 years from now.
Well, and that would also give you a little bit extra if you were looking at having TAs at the summer school to be able to use that for that.
Yes. And this is a nice supplement to our general fund. So anything that we use out of here would have normally been from our general fund unallocated reserve.
Okay, so do you need us to move to approve this budget? Or I guess, do you ask for us to approve it as the things come up that are on it?
If you could approve this based on the use that we're talking about, if we're going to change any, take monies out of different categories or use more in one category and try to shift some things, I'll let you know.
Okay.
On principle, if you don't have any issue with the things that we're projecting to use it for, I mean, I'll let you give you an update every board report like we do with the CARES Act funds if we're using them and what we're using them for. So you're aware of that. We won't be using it for teacher massages or trips to Washington, D.C.
But a trip to Washington, D.C. is educational.
Yeah, especially next year with those upcoming sixth graders. If we have a
I know.
Maybe that could be, well, it wouldn't help you, Mindy, but it could be like the sixth grade class could do an Alaska trip, and the seventh or eighth grade class could do a lower 48 trip.
Oh, man.
So if we approve this, do you need us to specify that to utilize the 12,000 from the CARES Act and the...
Wait, my computer froze. I had another question. Oh. Okay, so on things where you have it slated for like textbooks or software subscriptions, hold on 1 second. In case everyone can hear Cohen crying, he is crying about taking a shower. Yay. Okay, so where we have it slated for things like textbooks and software subscriptions, is that things you would come back to us for the specific item?
Yeah. I would definitely let you know what we're using that for.
Okay, well, I mean, not just using it for, but if you decided you wanted the textbooks to be something that we don't already use, are you going to be coming back to us for approval for the curriculum or whatever it may be?
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, just like we did with our first grade teacher's request,
Okay.
we'd run that by you just to let you know what we're using it for and, how it fits into our charter or current curriculum, things like that.
Okay, so my question was then, if we're going to approve the proposed budget for the ESSER 2 grant, do we need to also include the $12,000 from the CARES Act that you could then use the money to purchase some of those technology items so that you have more money in the ESSER 2? Or we're just going to trust you to kind of balance all of that out? We've already voted to give you approval for the CARES grant, right?
Uh-huh. So you could approve this one and then also add on to your motion that we use the remaining balance of the CARES Act funds before we start using funds from the ESSER 2 grant.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Should I make a motion? Okay. I make a motion that we use the additional funds of the CARES Act and then utilize the ESSER 2 grant funds as Deanne has sent us in the proposal.
I will second that.
Who seconded it? Missy, you?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion on the table is to use the additional CARES Act funds and then the ESSER 2 grant as outlined, as Deanne outlined in her proposal for us. So Jennifer, approve or oppose?
Approve.
And Mindy?
Approve.
Missy?
Approve.
Oh, my square moved. Casey?
Approved.
Cheryl?
Approve.
Paige?
Approve.
And I also approve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. So the motion passes. On to new business, purchase of Chrome Cart and Chromebooks.
I think we should use the ESSER grant funds for that.
Do we need to do that in a separate thing now? I just have so many things. Where did it go? Deanne sent us a quote for the cost. So the quote was $10,939.50 for another 30 Chromebooks plus cart, correct? And a
I think it was
adapter.
35. Was it 30 or I
Oh,
think I priced out 35.
Hold on. Oh, I guess it doesn't. What does it say? 10, 10. Oh, I'm looking at the MacBook quote. That was the last page I just scrolled to. Okay, so 35.
So I
So
think it's-
$9,430.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're approving this as a purchase to be used from the funds that we approved before. Is that what is happening?
Do
so
we
it'll
have to though?
if you approve the purchase, we'll go through. We'll use the remaining funds from the CARES Act grant and whatever we need from the ESSER grant.
Okay. So this would be the purchase of a fourth Chrome cart, fifth Chrome cart, fourth Chrome cart, fifth Chrome cart.
It will be a fourth Chrome cart. The first two are already out in student hands. They've been distributed, and the district is actually going to do try to do a reclamation of those. And so hopefully we'll be able to get back the majority of them in good working order. And then we have the brand new one that we already purchased with CARES Act funds in the fall that we're currently using for testing. And then this cart would be probably the same edition Chromebooks. So I'm hoping we get 3.5. We'll have 3.5 Chromebook carts available, depending on how many of those Chromebooks we get back in good working order. And so it's sort of forward thinking that we'd have enough available for all of our students to do their MAP assessments at the same time, since it's not quite of a bandwidth hog as the PEAKS assessment is. And then also if we, or when we do our 7th, 8th grade expansion, we'll have devices available for use for those courses or classes.
Come here. That's right. No bark. That's beautiful.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I will make a motion to purchase another Chrome cart and Chromebooks. With the remaining CARES, I don't know what you call it, the CARES Act money and the ESSER grant.
Would anyone like to second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Ah, not that. Okay. Laughing at Casey's comment, whose car put her in safe driving mode?
Maybe you have to shut down and then come back, Casey. There she goes.
Let's give her a minute to come back again.
There she is.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
I could not believe that. Okay.
Okay, so the motion on the table is to purchase another Chrome cart and Chromebooks with the remaining CARES Act funds and ESSER 2 grant. Jennifer seconded. Any discussion? Or are you all ready to vote? All right. Roll call vote. Jennifer, approve or oppose?
Approve.
Mindy?
Approve.
Casey? Uh-oh. We'll come back to her. Missy?
Approve.
Cheryl?
Approve.
Paige?
Approve.
I also approve. And Casey? Or are you stuck in safe driving mode again? Oh, she just unmuted.
Yes.
Yes,
Approve.
okay.
Good gosh, sorry.
Okay, the motion passes. On to purchase of MacBooks. This is for the TAs, is that correct? TAs and substitutes, refreshing the MacBooks that we currently have.
Yeah, so 7 MacBooks would be for TAs and then 3 would be for substitutes.
So Deanne, I have a question about this.
Yeah.
With, because before we started doing online and Zooming and having the TAs in our Zooms, the TAs didn't have their own computers. And is this going to be something that they just keep at their workstation? Is that kind of what you're thinking, that their laptops will be at their workstation? Or are these going to be for if, we need, if we have to Zoom or anything like that?
It would be for both. So if they are, working on any type of grading or assessments that they're getting from parent through Canvas, things like that, that the teachers want to have them modify or print out. it would be for Zooming if we have students who are working online because of COVID or whatever reason, and they want to help the teacher monitor those Zoom sessions or answer questions for students, things like that.
Okay.
And then for substitutes specifically, because now we have those TVs and the document cameras that they'll be able to actually use, and teachers won't have to leave their personal or their teacher computers there for substitutes to use.
All right. Thank you.
So is there a plan for next year that you would be planning to be continuing to use Canvas, or is that just still up in the air? Nobody really knows what the fall looks like yet.
Number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the MacBook quote was $10,939.50. So you had said before, Deanne, that the TAs did have laptops, or they only had a couple, or did they all have one?
We have old reclaimed MacBook Pros. Before the district started to do their own refresh, when you folks refreshed their computers, all of those old MacBooks became ones that were used for substitutes. Tamara had them all in the fire safe cabinet with the CUME files, and then when subs or TAs needed to use them, they used them. Except for now, they're so old that they're not really that usable.
Okay, so we had them, but they had to basically like check them out. They didn't get to hold on to them. Is
No.
that okay?
Yeah, and so when we did have to transition to online, we did sign them out. The ones that we could get to work, we did sign them out to TAs so that they could be able to Zoom with their teachers and help monitor classes.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
Real quick, are there any I didn't see any shipping or handling charges on any of this. Is that included? And I just didn't see it.
I think that's included in the price from the vendor.
It does say standard shipping is complimentary.
Yep.
Okay.
The district has a contract with Apple because they're starting to get ready to look at refreshing teacher computers, and so with Apple just they can afford free shipping.
Okay.
What was the number?
$10,939.50.
Okay, I will make a motion that we purchase 10 MacBook computers to the tune of 10,000, whatever that number was, I already forgot it, for our TAs and substitute teachers.
Do you want to say where the money's coming from?
Yeah, where's it coming from? The ESSER?
Mindy's salary.
Oh, then no, we're not buying those. Those are, man, that's 2 months worth of. I need a place to stay for a couple months, please.
I think it's using the remaining of the CARES Act and then the ESSER.
All right, that sounds good.
I'll second.
Wow, Stacy's going to have a better computer than I am.
All right, so the motion on the table is to purchase the 10 MacBooks on the quote provided, the dollar amount on the quote provided for the TAs and subs using the remaining CARES Act and ESSER grant. And it was seconded. Any discussion, or are you ready to vote? Ready to vote? Okay, Jennifer, approve or oppose? Mindy,
Approve.
Missy,
Approve.
and Paige,
Approve.
Cheryl,
Approve.
Casey,
Approve.
and I also approve. So the motion passes.
Look at all the motions we're making tonight.
Next item is Blue Ribbon Shirt Fridays. So the shirts finally came in, and they have to resend us all the shirts because I guess
What?
poor Paige.
They came in and when they have to use a special heat press because there's so many colors on it. And apparently the people in charge of the heat press did it at a too high of a temperature. And so it's it looks like a faded square, but they said it basically burned it. But you can't tell on the kids' shirt. I mean, you can tell, but like it's not super noticeable on the kids' shirts. But on the adult shirts, you can because there's more material. So the square it's one square that's one size. So like on the kids' shirts, it's obviously less material. So the square kind of goes all the way to the edge of the shirts. But the adult shirts obviously have more material. So anyway, you can see the square. So I just called them and was like, hey, what's this? And will it go away if I wash it? And they're like, yeah, no, it won't. We'll just send you a whole new order. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, we're getting a whole new set of shirts. But they're supposed to be here by Friday. And I kind of figured we could use the rest of them. Maybe PTO can sell them for $5 a shirt or something like that if anybody wants an extra. And I don't know. We'll call it whatever. But either way, we can stick them in some of Nurse Jan's stash of extra clothes when she needs somebody to change or whatever. But regardless of that problem, the point of what I wanted to put on there was, hey, there's only 6 Fridays, but now there'll only be 5 Fridays left in the school year. No, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 Fridays left in the school year. Should we let all 5 of those Fridays be School Spirit Friday and let them wear those shirts? Or we could add in the last day of school if we really wanted to, but I didn't know if we were going to do field day or not. I assume not, but anyways.
We got to do something.
Deanne and I were talking about field day today, so we're trying to come up with something. So do we need a motion about these Friday blue ribbon shirts? I make a motion that we finish out the rest of the 2020-2021 school year with Blue Ribbon Fridays.
And I will second that. Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
When does school end?
I'm not muted. Please go away. Your teacher heard you.
That's like a critical question that probably everybody would like the answer to.
I look at my calendar every day and count down.
Oh, she's counting down to get rid of you. Oh, man.
I am not counting down till the end of school. I was excited because we get to wear the shirts. I want to clarify. I've been waiting for these shirts a long time. I'm excited to wear them.
Okay.
Are we on discussion?
Sorry, what?
Are we voting or are we on discussion?
Um,
Passing the motion first.
it was seconded, so on discussion.
Okay, so my only question is, are we going to then specify that they can wear the blue ribbon shirt, but then have to wear a uniform bottom?
That's what I was going to say.
That's what I was going to assume. So
Well, I'd be okay with jeans, but I know that's pushing it, so I'll just leave it at uniform bottoms.
Do you want to amend your motion to specify that the Blue Ribbon Fridays, Missy made the motion, right? That it's uniform bottoms, blue ribbon t-shirt, top.
Sure. Do you want me to restate it? Okay, I amend my motion to say, you ready, Jennifer? That the rest of the 2020-2021 school year, we have Blue Ribbon Fridays, which consist of wearing your blue ribbon shirt along with uniform bottoms, unless otherwise specified by someone in charge. You don't have to put that last part. But, you know, we could always throw a spirit day in there with jeans and your blue ribbon shirt on one of those Fridays at least, right?
Shake your head out of here, please.
Please have it for one.
So do you want me to put the unless otherwise specified part? Okay.
All right. So the motion on the table is for the rest of the school year, have Blue Ribbon Fridays, wearing your blue ribbon shirt with uniform bottoms. Vote. Mindy, approve or oppose?
Approve. And just so you know, I'm okay with a second on that amended motion.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
If I have to restate, you have to re-second.
I did. I re-seconded it.
And Jennifer?
Approve.
Missy?
Approve.
Paige?
approve.
Cheryl?
Approve.
Casey?
Approve.
And I also approve. So the motion passes. Yay, that's exciting. Now we just need the new shirts to get here.
They told me that they would be here by Friday for sure. So I'll spend Friday separating them out and organizing them and getting them to teachers so they can send them home with the kids on Monday with the flyer, letting them know to wear them for Fridays with the uniform bottoms.
I'm just letting you know, if they come in on Thursday, I'm opening those boxes and I'm getting my shirt out to wear Friday.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, next item is evaluate professional development days. This is you unmuted if you want to talk. It's the annual thing that we have to submit to the State Board of Education to get approval for our 3 extra half days that we do our own professional development outside of what the district does.
Yes, so we submitted last year on May 8th our calendar waiver request for 3 half days, and the professional development days were September 4th, September 25th, and April 16th. And since we did not necessarily have any school on September 4th and 25th, as far as an official school day with kids in attendance, we did not really use those as half days. September or April 16th. So September 4th was supposed to be used to vertically align science curriculum textbooks with EACS and NGSS standards. And there was a request from a teacher to actually move that forward to the upcoming school year. September 25th was supposed to be used to create a data wall using the FastBridge and MAP data to generate plans to support individual students below the 45th percentile. And we're sort of going to do that with summer school and taking a look at the data, our winter data, and then maybe making any adjustments with our spring data to determine which students we want to invite to participate in summer school. April 16th was intended or is intended to be used to look at becoming a culturally responsive school, understanding student diversity and character education. That being said, I would really like for us to be able to use our April 16th day this year to be the day where the teachers sit down and take a look at that data and create plans for their students who are struggling for summer school, so that they have information that they can pass on to the summer school teachers on the skills, the deficit skills that they are needing kids to be remediated or you develop an intervention plan for those particular students. The staff, I asked the staff at this past Thursday meeting to be thinking about what we want to use next year's dates for. My recommendation to them was that we use the same Fridays that we did this year, and just kind of move those forward in the calendar, but figure out what we want to use for the days for next year. And we have not met together yet to decide what they'd like to use those PD days for.
Okay, so we'll leave this on for the next meeting. Then when does it have to be submitted to the state?
We'll submit it before the school year's out.
Okay.
And I'm assuming if you change the subject like you're proposing to do for April 16th, you don't have to submit that to the state and say, just so you know, we changed that.
Yeah, they never come back and ask us if we actually did what we intended it to do. But, that being said, we're not necessarily changing the spirit of any of those intended days.
Okay, so next time you'll bring us the suggested topics so we can approve the dates and the topics before it goes to the state?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then on to insurance. I just left this as a placeholder / update on here for our next meeting.
Yep, 2 weeks ago, at the end of, not this past week, but the last week, I received our insurance information from our current carrier. There, I think, were 7 or 8 documents that I'm working on in that application process, and it's due back to them by April 23rd.
And this is we're getting multiple quotes, right? Is that what this is for?
Yeah. So it's our current carrier, and then the other two carriers that they are marketing to are going to take a look at the information that we send as part of their application process. And then we'll receive back, I don't know, however many quotes
Okay.
people want. Yeah.
So we may have options besides hearing our rates doubled again.
Yeah. Or hopefully
Or-
not all of them are going to double their quotes for us. Yeah.
All right. Next item I just kind of left on here as a placeholder too for the APB self-evaluation. The Alaska Association of School Boards really recommends that APBs do this every year. We haven't ever done one, and we had put it on the agenda for last year, but then COVID happened, so we didn't do it. So I will send out the evaluation form that we have, which I think came from the AASB. And then I didn't want to do an APB self-eval and the principal eval on the same night. So we'll do that at the next meeting, the APB self-eval. And then the next one, enrollment projections and lottery application number review, we kind of did in the principal's report. Did anyone have any other questions on that part? All right, if there are no questions, next is financial review, which is the GL report that Deanne sent out with her principal's report. If you want to look that over and ask any questions if you have any.
At our last meeting, we had said that there might be some financial repercussions that came out from our AA cashing out her retirement. Is that on here?
That has not come out yet. Payroll hasn't processed any of that.
Any questions on it? Or are we ready to move on or still looking?
I'm good.
Good.
Okay. If there are no questions, then the next thing we're going to do is executive session to work on the principal end of year evaluation, and then Mindy and Missy are not allowed to partake in that process.
Oh, darn. My heart is broken.
You mean I get to go sit on my couch and relax a little bit? I'm
No, you
sorry.
have to
You guys
sit
have
there
to
looking at the black screen.
when you pop back on, you want to see me here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
No. May I ask a question real quick? I forgot to bring this up. I was wondering what I would need to do to bring to the board um, information, or I don't know, I'm about getting one day in the fourth quarter for Eagle Academy teachers to do report cards.
Is this done? Because I took 2 sips and it tastes good.
I'm not on mute. Please go away.
So that would be a calendar waiver request to the state on how, because it would be considered a non-instructional day. When the district sets their calendar, they actually have whatever formula they have to fill out with what's instructional days, what are in-service days, what are grading days. And so the state gives everybody 3 grading days.
So
That could be counted as a professional development day
Um,
or turned in with that as with a waiver.
we could try to turn it in with the waiver with the justification on why that should be one less student instructional day.
I just know, and I know I'm not the only one, that trying to get report cards done during the fourth quarter with no day to work on them, it's always done, on the weekend or um, in the night. So just having a day to do them would be so valuable. So I just was wanting to see what I would need to do to try and get that in place. I know it might not happen this year, but maybe for next year. Come talk to you tomorrow, Deanne.
We will have to figure out what kind of language we could add to our calendar waiver request to
Okay.
vary those, to get an extra day. So we'd be asking for 3 half days on 1 full day.
I can do that.
But that
And
would
and
go to the board first, right?
right, I believe the reason the state approves your 3 half days is because of the additional instructional time
Mhm.
that we get above what everybody else in the district or the
Oh,
state
you
is
think that's why they
expecting.
say yes to us?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yeah. So we're you're already accounting for that time because you have the additional instructional time above what everybody else is providing.
All right, that's my only question. All right. I will let you ladies do what you need to do, and I'm going to continue to color.
Bye,
Adios,
everybody.
my friends.
Bye.
Bye.
And then the rest of us staying, can someone make a motion to move into executive session?
I make a motion that we move into executive session. Is it number 3? Matters which are required to be confidential.
I'll see.
I think that's the one I used last time.
You need to do your lunch bag stuff. I'm not joking.
It's either number 3 or number 4. It's probably more number 3 because it's I'm sorry, number 2. And number 3.
Okay. I make a motion that we move into executive session for reason number 2, subjects that tend to prejudice the reputation and character of any person, provided that the person may request a public discussion.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote.
I can't.
Yes. Approve.
Jennifer, approve or oppose?
Approve.
Cheryl,
Approve.
Paige,
Yeah, I'll approve it.
Casey.
I think she already went to the breakout room, or she.
Oh, okay.
No.
Can you all see the breakout room?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Casey's not here, so I don't know if she's already there.
Oh,
I-
or you like left in the
I
meeting.
think I think she is in there waiting for you.
Okay.
All right, let me move her back out. Maybe.
I'll be like, why are you kicking me around?
There, she's back out.
Sorry, I could not get out once I was in. And yes, I second the motion to go to breakout. I mean, I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
All right. So now we can all go into the breakout room.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,